Saudi Arabia right now. And it's interesting the connection with Nimitz being home ported here and underway, and now has just entered the Arabian Gulf. And Admiral Weiss, I'm sure, is very busy involved with them and doing some very important work in that often volatile area of the world. But my other boss is here. Captain Mark Helgeson and I first met in 1987, my memory serves me correctly, when we were both in Washington, D.C. We were roaming the corridors of power. We were not the power brokers, we were just roaming the halls in the Capitol building and going to testimony on strategy. Fascinating, we often discuss this. And that's why I first got to know him. It's been a pleasure seeing him at various points since then. And I look back on this also, I think that you and I were the only ones who accurately foretold the fall of the Soviet Union. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But it is indeed a pleasure to have my boss here, the Chief of Staff of Comp Carter 3, Captain Mark Helgeson.
Thank you, Tom. Admiral Center, Admiral Horn, Representative Huff, Representative Johnson, Captain Reed, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, officers and enlisted personnel of USS Arkansas. I appreciate being given the opportunity to speak today on behalf of Rear Admiral Weiss, and I agree with Captain Reed that this can be a bittersweet occasion, this decommissioning of this fine warship. Although most of the ships that I've served in over the past 26 years have already been decommissioned, this is the first time that I've been directly involved in the ceremony that marks the final milestone in the ship's service life. I'd like to talk for a few minutes about this milestone, and yes, Tom, I promise I'll keep it short. It would probably be more appropriate for this decommissioning to take place on a gray, overcast day, or it can be a somber event. In his masterpiece of naval life during World War II, The Caine Mutiny, author Herman Wouk describes the actions of the last captain of the fictional USS Caine as he decommissions his obsolete ship. Willie pulled the decommissioning order out of his pocket and read it aloud in a high, strained voice over the wind. He folded it away and looked around. A forlorn end. A truck rattled past on the dock, and a train was snorting in a nearby pier. Later, the chief of the decommissioning detail was waiting at his cabin door. While Willie was handing over the keys and records, the yeoman brought him the last logs to sign. At length, his chores were done. He went down the abandoned gangplank, not saluting. There were no colors, and no officer of the deck. The Caine was junk. It would be easy to look at USS Arkansas this way today, especially when we think of her fate. Soon the flags and bunting will be folded away, and she will be towed into the shipyard to join her sisters in Long Beach, Virginia, Truxton, and Bainbridge. Shortly thereafter, she will meet the cutting torch to start the scrapping process that the Navy euphemistically refers to as recycling. But this is not a forlorn end, however. Rather, it is one in keeping with change and progress. When Arkansas was commissioned, things were different than they are today. In 1980, the Cold War was at its height, and we had not yet commenced the naval renaissance of that decade that would result in a force of nearly 600 ships. The Soviet Navy challenged us everywhere for control of the seas, and for a time we questioned our ability to prevail over this aggressive and apparently capable foe. It was during this time that the United States Navy built a few ships of exceptional capabilities to hold the line against the Soviets, and Arkansas was one of these. At the time, she was state-of-the-art, equipped with the latest electronics, surface-to-air and Harpoon missiles, and propelled by 2 nuclear reactors. She was the Navy's vision of the high-mix surface combatant of the future. At the time the field was laid, Congress had mandated that all future cruisers We ultimately built 4 of these magnificent-looking ships before we shifted to building conventionally powered Aegis cruisers. The Virginia class was the last to incorporate traditional cruiser lines, and in my opinion, they are the best-looking cruisers that we've built since we stopped putting 8-inch guns on them. In the next 17 years, the ship you see before you met every challenge that came her way. She deployed on 8 occasions to the Mediterranean, the Western Pacific, and the Arabian Gulf. She cruised around the world. She won 10-unit commendations and 4 battle efficiency keys. She passed countless administrative and operational inspections. In short, she and her crew did what was expected of them, and they did it well. They and the rest of the Navy did their job so well that the Soviets just couldn't keep up. Ultimately, the Soviet Navy and the Soviet Union collapsed. Today, our Navy has turned to other priorities and is organizing its naval forces for the missions expected of them in the next century. We must be wise, even frugal, about how we spend our limited financial resources. We must take care about how we structure our force so that we can continue to maintain our technical and operational superiority over potential adversaries in a fiscally sound manner. I will not debate the pros and cons of nuclear power for surface capacity relative to gas turbine propulsion, other than to say nuclear power is an expensive option. It was a budgetary decision to decommission this ship, one in keeping with the right size naval force structure being developed over the coming decade. But Arkansas still has a lot of life left in her. She is not obsolete junk like the USS Payne of Herman Woe's novel. But the era and the threat that required her is gone. Previous ships which bore the name Arkansas have also passed from the scene. This version, I'm sure, will be replaced at some future date by another Arkansas with capabilities we can only imagine. That is the nature of progress. Another reason, however, that this will not be a forlorn event is found in the nature of this ship's crew. They have approached the task of decommissioning as they have everyone to face them, with enthusiasm and professionalism. Just look at the condition of this ship today, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. You can feel the pride of these men as you talk to them, as I did 3 months ago when a fire controlman explained to me the intricacies of the guided missile launching system. He knew his system. He knew he played an important part in the operation of this ship, and he was proud to serve in USS Arkansas. I saw it again last month as the ship made its final journey from Port Hadlock to Bremerton. This was not a somber voyage, but rather a celebration of the ship's successes over the past 2 years. The officers and enlisted personnel of this ship have maintained an attitude of professionalism and a can-do spirit until the very end. And I think they deserve our congratulations for a job very well done. Obviously, a great deal of credit for this attitude must go to Captain Tom Keithley, USS Arkansas's last commanding officer. His efforts and devotion to duty have ensured the readiness of his command until the very last day. The training and qualification programs continued throughout the last voyage to and from Hawaii, as did his command for top-notch performance. It's easy to let things slide during the last days of the ship's life, but Tom, his officers, chiefs, and petty officers refused to let this happen. And it is this attitude and this result that I will remember this ship for. Thank you.